36 days into the administration of President John Dramani Mahama, and already the government is taking shape. The president has appointed 42 or selected or nominated 42 ministers of state who have already gone through the vetting process. Just last week or 2 weeks ago, the president also nominated or selected or appointed some 13 deputy ministers who are expected to go through vetting by the Appointment Committee of Parliament. That is not all. The president has also been appointing CEOs and director generals of the various state agencies or state institutions that is expected to help him prosecute the reset agenda. This afternoon on the Situation Room, we'll bring you an update or bring you up to speed on these latest appointments as far as state institutions are concerned. When we come back from the break, I'll tell you who I'm doing the show with, and I'll tell you the latest appointments made by the President of the Republic.
Step up with DSTV and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
We're going to have a little fun.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
Buckle up, here we go.
There's nothing better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out.
Time to boost some office morale. Incredible!
If you want to build a future, you gotta know what you want.
Step up and we'll show up on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
You're welcome back. This is the Situation Room, and my name is Sami Wiafe. This afternoon, I'm doing the show with my friend, colleague, and brother, Fred Teti Jabano. Guy, what's up?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well. The government of President Mahama is already taking shape. As I mentioned earlier in the introduction, 42 ministers of state are already in place, gone through vetting successfully. 13 deputy ministers were announced, I think last week or so, expected to go through vetting by the Appointment Committee of Parliament. 4 more, appointments.
13 with one,
13 with one minister of state.
Yes.
So remaining 4 more deputy ministers expected to be announced by the president. But aside that, the president has also been appointing CEOs and director generals who will be manning the various state institutions expected to help him with the reset agenda. Last week, we began with some of these appointments. We couldn't complete. So today, we'll continue these appointments the president has made or in acting position pending the approval of the various boards of this institution and the approval by the Public Services Commission for these various individuals. But before that, what has been happening in the country politically?
The biggest news
OSP.
now is Ken
Ofori-Atta,
and the OSP, and the fact that he's been declared a fugitive.
Yeah.
And the OSP has given him an ultimatum to either return to the country or he goes after him. For me, when I heard the OSP yesterday, like every other person, my first question was, did we really need to make a public announcement of all these things? Had the OSP tried all other means to reach out to him and get to him? And had he rejected that invitation? It was quite surprising that the OSP would come public. But then he explained the reasons why he decided
to employ such tactics to
public,
do so.
Especially looking at the events of the day before, which was on Tuesday, where we are told that some unidentified persons led by
the home.
Richard Jakpa invaded the home of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta to go and
what they were looking for, we do not know.
We don't know. They didn't go out with anything. They didn't take anything. We still do not know who actually sanctioned that particular operation. So yes, Ken Ofori-Atta has been in the news. You've seen members of the minority actually questioning the action of the OFC and the fact that his house was invaded. they also maintain that, look, nobody is above the law. When someone is believed to have gone foul of the law, he needs to be investigated and, if possible, tried in court. Their challenge is the fact that you don't do this by the way the OSP went, by declaring somebody a fugitive, and also people going into his house. The use of the military in some of these things is becoming very concerning. And you see, this is not the first time it's happened.
We've seen it in several.
In 2017, it happened.
We saw it.
In 2025, it is happening, where we see political actors using the military and other security agencies to go
that
and
practice
harass.
must really end.
To go and harass
it must really
people.
End.
I mean,
it doesn't define democracy.
You have the legal right to go search these houses, but there's a process, and I think that going forward, we should follow the process.
Yeah.
People should not get power drunk. People should not think that we can do anything we want to do when we have the power.
And we are told that this afternoon, the majority in Parliament has apologized to Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta over the raid. The majority leader, Mahama Yarega, you read a statement on the floor of Parliament apologizing to the former minister and, saying that it wasn't properly done, it wasn't right, and that they condemn such an action. So it is plus. That's what we are discussing today. So we'll leave that one for another day.
For another day.
For another discussion. My friend, the president has, not relaxed, setting the agenda right, resetting the agenda. He's made a number of appointments within the various sectors of the Ghanaian economy. So this afternoon, take us through sector by sector and the appointments that have been made in the various sectors.
But Sami, before I go there, would you want to be in the shoes of the president?
No.
He has over 5,000 appointments to make.
The more reason why a lot of people have called for a constitutional review to cut down on the powers of the president to do certain appointments.
Some of these appointments.
Yeah, they believe that there should be, maybe Parliament should do certain appointments. They should have other state agencies also do certain appointments. But then we look at the Constitution, the president has more than 5,000, over 6,000 appointments to be made. Ministers, CEOs, boards, a number of DCs,
MCs.
quite a number of them. The more reason people are pushing for a constitutional review to cut down the powers of the president in making certain appointments. But then let's reserve the very sensitive appointments to him, and then the small boys appointments should be done by other people doing those appointments.
Yes. So Sami, we now have to go to the appointments the president has have made, and as you said, we are breaking these appointments to different sectors.
Yes.
Let's start with the financial sector.
Very, very important. Money is very important.
One of the most important.
I like money.
Sectors
money is very important.
In the architecture of government. These are the ones we are going to speak about now. Are the ones who belong to the financial sector. As the sector. Let's start with the first one, Dr. Johnson Esiama, the BOG governor.
Okay.
He's the one who is going to take charge of all banks and deal with what do you call a monetary policy and all that. He is the Bank of Ghana governor. He has been appointed by the president. Johnson Esiama, as we all know him to be, was once a deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. He was removed after 2017 when the MPP took over the reins of power. When he was removed, we all know the issues which had to do with the banking sector cleanup. His name came up as one person who they believed or alleged to have played a part in the the collapse of the banking sector. He was put before a court. It was for 8 years or 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. No actual trial took place. The NDC has won, and the NDC has decided that they are bringing him back to the Bank of Ghana. Yes, some concerns have been raised by members of the minority, but the president and the government has stood their ground and have decided that Johnson Esiama would go to the Bank of Ghana to become governor and lead a charge there. The second person on the list is Dr. Randolph Nso Amabala. He is going to the Development Bank of Ghana, DBG. Dr. Nso Amabala is a development finance person.
Okay.
He has been working around financing within development agencies. He also has had some stints with Promasidor. He's worked with Coca-Cola. and other development agencies as basically a finance person. So he's been experienced in the finance sector for over 20 years. If what I'm told is right, is over 20 years. He's been working within the finance industry, has a lot of experience, and he's going to the Development Bank of Ghana. So with his development finance background, the president believes that he could do a job there very well. So he's been sent there. The next person is Farihan Ahassan. Farihan Ahassan is going to the largest bank in the country, GCB Bank, having branches all over.
Yeah.
Farihan Ahassan has been a banker for over 15 years. His last post was at Standard Bank.
Stanbic Bank,
Bank, where he's held senior managerial roles at that particular bank. He's been moved to the GCB Bank to take charge of the GCB Bank. We go to the next place, ADB. ADB, another bank, basically set up
initially. It's the bank for farmers.
For farmers, exactly.
Yes,
but they have developed. They have grown.
Yeah.
They've grown. It's more like now a commercial bank where it's opened up to so many people. We have Edward Atusapon. Edward Atusapon, a former deputy minister of communications. Yeah. At a point, he was the CEO of KNET. What is his background? He has an accounting background. He's engaged in accounting for a number of years now. He owns his own firm. He's done consultation for various organizations across the country. And even in the media, he has consulted for some organizations in the media. So that is Edward Ato Sapon of ADB. He's gone to ADB as managing director of ADB. We go to Dr. Seidu Zakaria, NIB, National Investment Bank. He is an accountant. He's been working in the accounting space also for over 15 years. At a point in time, he had to do some consultancy for the Accountant General's office. So he worked in the Accountant General's office for a while. He's also a lecturer at the University UPSA. He's been spending his time lecturing at UPSA for some years now. At least in the last 5 years, he has been at UPSA. So he's been sent to the National Investment Bank.
That bank has been struggling for some time now.
Yes, that bank has struggled for a very long time.
A very long time.
In fact, during the time of the banking
sector,
crisis,
it was nearly,
one of the banks where
but then we understand
people
government
thought
had to,
would also
support.
go down, but government came in to support the bank, and it's still surviving. He has a very difficult task to be able to change the fortunes of the bank.
Yeah.
Now, we go to the next place, SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission.
Was in the news for the bad reasons, if you want to put it that way.
Oh, will you say for the bad reasons?
Using the word advice because of the banking sector, the cleanup,
which also affected some of the
microfinance
loans.
Yeah.
Yes, the SEC had to take charge of some of these institutions. We have James Kluche Aveji.
Very experienced member of Parliament.
A very experienced former member of Parliament. He became deputy minority leader. He was chairman of the Public Accounts Committee.
He's
also
person.
a finance person and accountant.
Yeah.
He's also a finance person and an accountant. He's been sent to SEC to take charge of SEC. And Sami, before we go on, you realize the number of accountants we have in this particular list. Most of them have their background in accounting, of which James Kluche Aveji also has, and he's been sent to SEC to also take charge of SEC. He's taken over from Reverend Ogbami Tete, who had been at SEC for the last seven to 8 years. We have a change of a shift of power over there, and we have a new person going to take charge of SEC. The next place is the Exim Bank. The Exim Bank is now
exports and imports. Sort of.
Yes, the Exim Bank. The Exim Bank is now being taken over by Sylvester Mensah. Sylvester Mensah, a long-time politician, a one-time member of Parliament for Dade Kotopon. He's been a one-time chief executive of the National Health Insurance Authority. He was sent to the Flagstaff House to become a staffer. He even contested the flag bearer position of the NDC. He also has his background in finance. He was, before this particular appointment, a lecturer at the University of UPSA. I always want to mention the long name, but I realized that at a point I'll be stuck. Yes, by University of Professional Studies, UPSA. He's been sent there as the MD of Exim Bank. The next place we go to in the financial sector section of sector of the country is the Financial Intelligence Center, FIC. FIC now is being led by Kojo Chum Boafo. Who is Kojo Chum Boafo? A long-standing member of the NDC. He was a former chief executive.
I think for the Free Zones Board.
Exactly. For the
at that time, it was a board.
Yes.
Until it became an authority not too long ago.
Board under the Mahama First administration. Kojo Chum Boafo has been a communicator in the NDC. He also has a background in finance.
At a point, he contested for the Ayawaso West
constituency where he lost.
On the ticket of the NDC.
Exactly. Where he lost that particular election. He also has a background in finance, and he's now going to go to the Financial Intelligence Center. A very, very key institution in terms of running government and running financial institutions. The Financial Intelligence Center is one institution which oversees certain key
financial tracking is here,
financial transactions and other things. They can always flag some transaction when they realize that it's gone over a particular threshold or they suspect some wrongdoings. That is the Financial Center, Intelligence Center, which is being led by Kojo Chum Boafo. The next place is SNIT. SNIT also falls under the Finance Ministry, where at least every formal Ghanaian worker in the country belongs to. You pay your pension, social security dues to, your pensions to. SNIT is now being taken over by Kwesi Afre-Baini. Kwesi Afre-Baini has been a banker for over 10 years. His last post had been with the ADB. So he was working with ADB when he was made or had been appointed by President Mahama to SNIT. So he also has a lot of finance background, and he's going to take charge of SNIT. The next person we are going to is Anthony Sapon, GRA, the Ghana Revenue Authority.
His appointment brought a lot of uproar within the NDC.
Exactly.
Some even staging, a few protests.
No, he was one of the first people who CEOs who were appointed and made known and made public by the government. The GRA boss, Anthony Sapon, where you even had members of the NDC questioning his loyalty to the party, whether he was even a member of the party. But then some other party members from the Brown Hartford BA, Bono East and the Bono area said, look, he had been a key financier of the party within the region. He is coming from the having an auditing background, working with KPMG. He used to be the country manager, managing partner for KPMG till his resignation, and made the head of the GRA. The next person is Christopher Boedu-Mensah, the MPRA, National Pension Regulatory Authority. Christopher Boedu-Mensah has been within the pension sector for a long time. He, at a point, being CEO of one of the insurance companies in the country. He served as CEO for over 10 years till he was made the MPRA boss. So Christopher Boedu-Mensah has been within that space for a long time. The next place is Cocoa Board. People will ask us, so why have we put Cocoa Board under the financial sector management or positions within government? Cocoa Board plays a very important role when it comes to our finances. The syndicated loan, the money they bring in and everything. And it's been sent back to the finance ministry, as I've been told, under the Akufo-Addo administration. It was run by the Agric Ministry. It was moved from the finance ministry and sent to the Agric Ministry. We are told that Cocoa Board has returned to the finance ministry. We have Dr. Randy Abe, a journalist, a sports administrator. He has been a very close associate of the president, John Dramani Mahama, and he's been sent there to lead a charge at Cocoa Board. So far for the financial sector and the CEOs. In fact,
these individuals are all persons with financial background.
Yes.
And so these offices are not new to them as far as the workings of the office is or are concerned.
Most of them.
most of them have the financial background, and these are financial institutions as well.
Yes, most of them have financial background. They are coming from the financial sector, or have managed the financial sector in the past. And you cannot say that any of them will be an outsider if it comes to the financial sector. Most of them, all of them, have been players within the financial sector for a long time, working in banks or other organizations in the finance department of those organizations. Some of them worked as accountants and other.
So which of these, CEOs will have the biggest challenge?
The BOG boss.
The BOG boss.
The governor of the BOG.
He has a tough job.
A very tough job. A very, very, very tough job. We have a CD which is depreciating
by the day.
One of the jobs of the BOG is the monetary policy aspect of our economy and what he needs to do. So he has a very big job for me. I think in all these, the BOG boss has the biggest job, followed by the NIB boss.
Yeah.
A bank which is struggling, has been struggling
Yeah.
for years. You've been sent to that bank and your duty is to turn around that bank. How you're going to do it, everybody is expecting to see. And that's also a very difficult job, if I have to say.
And I think the GRA boss too has a huge challenge.
Yes.
Internal generation of funds.
Revenue
collection. And this is an administration that is intending to cancel or reduce or revoke or remove or scrap certain taxes.
Anthony Sapon is not new to the GRA. Whilst he was working with KPMG, there were a number of engagements.
More or less like consulting for the GRA.
GRA and KPMG as a firm. So he has worked within the GRA setting for a while, not as an employee of the GRA, but someone who was more like a consultant for the GRA in some cases. So he's not new there. A very difficult job too, because as we say, government needs a lot of revenue.
Of course.
Looking at the plans and the promises the NDC government has made, you need a lot of money. Now you have people like USAID pulling out their funds.
That's over $150 million
exactly.
going.
And you need to find a way of
funding
these gap which will be left. And the GRA is going to play a very critical role when it comes to.
And I also think the state boss also has a major or has a huge challenge. Recently, there was a report that says that the pensions of Ghanaian workers may not be enough to pay in some years to come.
But that has been denied.
It has been denied, all right. It's been denied. But
you
speak to people within the industry, they tell you that's the reality. If care is not taken and things are not managed well, it may happen. So his job is to ensure that we don't have that happen. And secondly, the possibility of increasing the pension of Ghanaian workers.
And innovative ways of investing. SNIT has had investment portfolios in different places, and the question has been: are you investing properly? Are you spending the money where you are supposed to be putting the money? He has that job to ensure that we are going to invest the funds or monies of Ghanaian workers properly, so that we can keep the SNIT running. The next place.
So before you go to the next slide, let's we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll just put viewers on suspense. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll tell you the other CEOs appointed by President Mahama to the energy sector and let you know who are these individuals. Already Fred has been telling us the CEOs within the financial sector, including the governor of the Bank of Ghana and other appointments the president has made within that sector. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, Fred will take us through the CEOs appointed by the president in the energy sector.
Are you ready for the road trip of a lifetime? All is set to explore 14 amazing regions of Ghana on the Heritage Caravan 2025.
If you want to come to Basu, see the dancing and write your
Dive deep into the rich Ghanaian culture through the food, the music, the history, and the captivating traditions. From the 2nd to the 9th of March 2025, you will experience the road trip of a lifetime. Build connections, network, and share unforgettable memories with fellow adventurers.
You have done half of the way. You have half more to go. How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Okay, I'll never do this again.
So this is a grand entry into the water for a hot afternoon bath.
The Heritage Caravan will smoothly drive through the Greater Accra region, Eastern, Volta, Oti, Northeast, Upper East, Northern, Savannah, Bono, Bono East, Ahafo, Ashanti, Western North, Western and Central regions. Throughout the 8 days on the road, groove to authentic live band music on the wheels with the melodic In Chin Chin Band. The Heritage Caravan 2025 will be fun, educative, refreshing, and most of all, remarkable. Stay updated. Follow all Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM social media handles for updates and join the conversation with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2025. The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority with support from 97.3 City FM and proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, Hollard Insurance, Omni Basic Bank, Goyle PLC, GB Foods, Standard Water, Apollonia City, and Beaver Beverages. Terms and conditions apply.
You're welcome back. You're still watching The Situation. We're coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe, and I'm doing this show with Fred Tete Jabon. Already, Fred took us through the list of appointees the president has made in the financial sector, including the governor of the Bank of Ghana and some other appointment. Next will be the energy sector. Fred will take us through the appointment the president has made in that particular sector. Fred, we did the financial sector. Now let's do the energy and the petroleum
so
sector.
we go to the energy sector and we start with the petroleum sector within the energy sector.
Yes.
The biggest story today was a transfer.
The transfer season started already.
Season. I mean, you appoint and now there's transfer. We don't even wait. The code says that quick substitution. We need to do a very quick substitution. And there's been a substitution and a transfer within the energy sector in the first 31 days. 36 days of the president. Yeah. So one of the first appointments which was made by John Dramani Mahama in the energy sector was the appointment of Edward Bauer. He was
former member of parliament for Bongo.
For Bongo. He was sent to GMPC.
Okay.
And today, this morning, there was a statement indicating that Mr. Bauer has been moved from GMPC to now Goyle.
Okay.
So as we speak now, as of yesterday, Edward Bauer was
the
chief
CEO.
Executive for GMPC.
He's already gone there to meet staff, held the staff there that told them his vision
and plan for GMPC.
Yeah.
This morning, we are told that the president has changed his mind. Said, I put you there, I don't want you to be there again. With immediate effect, move your bags and go to Goyle. I need you at Goyle, so go there. So he's been sent to Goyle. He's going to take charge of Goyle with immediate effect. We are not told the reasons for which this particular change was made, but then the president has made a change. And in making the change today also, he announced the board of the reconstitution of the board of Goyle. So as we speak now, Goyle has a new chief executive and has a new board which is running it. And you know, Goyle is not just a public institution or government institution. It is also listed on the stock exchange. So there are certain procedures and processes which need to be taken for him to be confirmed. So that is where Edward Bauer is going.
So I understand that the decision behind the reassignment is part of the president's broader energy strategy. So Goyle is now a group
Yes.
It's not just GOIL alone.
Yes,
So it's
it's a
group,
group.
GOIL group.
Yeah.
So it was part of the decision was part 2 of the presidency to more or less a broader, energy strategy to help the energy sector. The more reason why this particular assignment.
I think we
and
will
his,
need
his knowledge and expertise is what needed at GOIL.
Yes, but to be fair to Edward Bauer has been within the energy space for a long time.
Way back, I think he was the communications consultant for the energy,
2010,
for the energy ministry.
He had been within the energy ministry, worked within the power sector, within the oil sector. So he's had a lot of experience when it comes to the energy sector. So he's been sent to GOIL, reassigned to GOIL. We have Godwin Eduji Tamaklo.
Let's still stay with GOIL because the president has also appointed Nana Philip Archer as the board chairman of GOIL. The president has also appointed one Wanda Victor Kuto, also a member of the board of GOIL. So looks like the composition of GOIL is already coming. The president reassigns Edward Bauer as the new CEO. Now there's an appointment of a board chair and now a board member. So I'm sure in the coming days, the other appointment for the reconstitution of the board.
But they'll still have to go through the process to be fully confirmed that.
So for now, he's acting.
Yes. So we go to National Petroleum Authority. You have Godwin Eduji Tamaklo. Godwin Eduji Tamaklo is a legal practitioner. He was the director, or he is still currently the director of legal affairs of the NDC. He led the NDC in various cases. He worked with Ayene and Partners, and he's been practicing the law for 10 years and over. And he's been sent to MPA to lead the MPA. Don't forget, he has a background in oil and gas. He has a master's in law in oil and gas. So in connecting the petroleum sector, that's where his connection comes from. Outside his legal profession, his also expertise in oil and gas from the law sector has also brought him to MPA. The next place is MFA Hardcastle. Madame MFA Hardcastle has also has been a lawyer for a long time. She's been practicing law for a long time. She worked with the former Attorney General Marietta Brew and the lawyer of the president, Tony Lita at Lita Brew and Associates. That is where she worked. At the point before her appointment, she used to be the managing partner of that particular law firm. She has been sent to the Petroleum Commission. Don't forget that.
In the news.
Yes, she was recently in the news with the minority chief over some issues which happened in Parliament. Don't forget that this particular Petroleum Commission was also headed by a lawyer, Egbe Febo, in the NPP administration. Egbe Febo was there from 2017 all the way to 2024. So that's MFA Hardcastle. She's heading to the Petroleum Commission. If I say she's even headed, she has taken charge. She's of the Petroleum Commission. She's already there. The next person is Afechi Awuno. Afechi Awuno is the son of Professor Awuno. Professor Awuno, who died in Kenya during the terror attack over there. That's the son of Professor Awuno. Afechi Awuno has worked within the Bost sector for a while. When in the first Mahama government, he was very close to then boss Kwame Wadako, and did some work within that particular institution. He also has some background in energy and oil and gas management. He's been sent to Bost to head that particular institution. The next person is Dr. Yusuf Sulemana. Dr. Yusuf Sulemana, as we all know him to be, was an energy analyst. He has been working within the petroleum sector for a long time. He actually worked in Oman, in Oman, where he was working in one of the country's oil firms, a firm owned by the state of Oman. He was working in a senior position in that particular country and has been brought to Tema Oil Refinery.
He said he has this, civil society group that is focused on oil and gas, and one of the energy analysts where media goes to him for a number of interviews.
Yes.
And he has wild ideas about tour. I've listened to an interview where he granted on how we can, reshape tour and make tour, profitable. I hope and pray that these wild ideas that he has about tour will be implemented there when he takes over fully as the MD.
This appointment did not come with without controversy. Initially there was the announcement of Edmond Combat.
Yes.
To be MD of board of TOR. Later we were told that was not the case, and that Dr. Yusuf Sulemana had been brought to TOR. Combat was then made Deputy Managing Director of TOR. So this is one of the institutions where you had a little bit of confusion as to who was going there and who was going to lead the charge over there. We go to the next place. Ghana Gas, Engineer Robert Kofilate. Engineer Robert Kofilate had been a Chief Operations Officer at the Ghana Gas. He's been within the Ghana Gas company for a while now. He's not new to the place. He was there in the last administration, and now he's been promoted to become the Chief Executive of Ghana Gas. The next place is GMPC
Foundation.
Now we don't have a GMPC boss, but we have the Executive Director for the foundation. Helga Ayi Buedi. Helga Ayi Buedi, as we all know, who was the founding Chief Executive of NIP.
Okay.
She was the founding
the National
Chief Executive.
Entrepreneurship Innovative Program.
She was the founding Chief Executive of NIP, a very prominent member of the NDC. In the 2024 campaign, was one of the people who went out fully to campaign for John Dramani Mahama. She was part of the group of the former Attorney General Marietta Brew Opong, who were given the duty to go to the Ashanti region to campaign. They spent days and months in the Ashanti region. She has now been made the Executive Director of the GMPC Foundation. We go to the other sector within the energy, the other part of the energy sector, which is the power sector. We start with VRA, the Volta River Authority. We have Engineer Edward Obinkenzo. Engineer Edward Obinkenzo was then the Deputy Chief Executive of VRA. He's been now made the Chief Executive of the particular institution.
He's already in the system.
His appointment also came with some controversy. You had people opposing it, saying that they did not believe that he was a true NDC member. But Engineer Edward Obinkenzo has worked with VRA for a long time. I recall during the times of the energy crisis where we had the blackouts, the doomsaw, he was one of the people we used to go to a lot, who used to explain the situation
and even
on the ground.
I remember during the Volta relief, the Akosombo spillage.
Yes.
One of the press conferences held by the VRA, he was the one who was
who addressed that particular press conference.
And I remember when the president toured the place, I think he was part of the VRA delegation.
Exactly.
That went with the Mr.
He
President.
granted a number of interviews to us as Deputy Chief Executive on the City Breakfast Show and on the Big Issue on Saturdays. So he has been within the VRA institution for a long time, and he's been promoted. The next person is Julius Pepena. Julius Pepena has been with the ECG. He's now Managing Director of the ECG. But he was working with the ECG, was moved from the ECG, was sent to MIDA.
Okay.
And he's been brought back to ECG as Managing Director. So he's not new to the operations of ECG.
So he's taking over from our very good friend Dubek.
No, Dubek was resigned. Then there was an acting managing director. That acting managing director has been replaced now with Julius Pepena. So now he goes to ECG. We are still waiting for Bui Power, who will be sent to Bui Power. Bui Power initially was led by our former boss, Fredowari, and who was there from the first term of
the Kufo. I think the latter part of the Kufo.
He was there at the formation of Bui. Became chief executive, was removed. When the MPP came back to power, he was made chief executive, and during the second term, he was replaced with someone
by
else.
the former Volta regional minister, Jamesi.
Kofi Jamesi.
Yeah, Kofi Jamesi.
Kofi Jamesi went to Bui. We are still now waiting who is going to take over
from him.
We go to Great Co. Magba Mr. McBahn has also been in Gridco for a long time.
Okay.
He has been managing some aspects of their operations. He's been there. He's not new to the operations of Gridco, and he's been promoted now to be the CEO of Gridco. His appointment also came with some opposition and controversy, but eventually the president decided that he was going to stand his ground and keep him at Gridco. The next person is the institution is the Energy Commission, Mrs. Eunice Brinchum. Mrs. Eunice Brinchum has been working within the power sector, energy and power sector in Ghana in the United States.
Okay.
She's also worked with one of these auditing firms as the head of their energy, and this is not KPMG, as the head of their energy and power division of that particular auditing firm. She has been now assigned to the Energy Commission to take charge of the Energy Commission. We move next to the government interest companies, so CEOs of government interest companies. We start with SIC. SIC, James Ejenim Boateng, a lawyer, a journalist, also another controversial institution in terms of handing over when he was sent there.
Funny stories about that.
You had the former chief executive who eventually handed over to him yesterday.
Yeah. The handover was done yesterday.
Yes, the handing over has been done now. Decided not to move because of certain challenges. That issue has been addressed. He's now taking over fully his office. You know, when he was appointed for about a week or two, he did not have access to his office because of some of the concerns the former CEO had. That issue has been addressed. James is now at the SIC. James doesn't have, we don't know of any background when it comes to insurance, but then he's been sent to the SIC to lead that particular institution. The next place is Solomon Chumbarima. Solomon Chumbarima has been sent to SIC Life. Solomon Chumbarima is also an insurer. He's worked within the insurance space also for a while, and his appointment to the SIC Life is not going to be anything new to him because he's been within the space, he's worked within the space for some years now. So he's going to take charge of SIC Life. We have Sami Jemfi of PMMC. Sami Jemfi, Communications Director or Communications Officer of the NDC. A
one
lawyer.
of the first appointments made.
Yes.
One of the very first appointments made by the president.
Yes. A lawyer by profession. He worked with Exton Cubic as communications director or officer for that particular company, and he's been sent to PMMC, and we are told that he's been given the duty to set up the gold board.
Already the board has been set up, and it was inaugurated by the finance minister, I think a week or two ago.
No, the board hasn't been set up. There's been a committee set up.
A committee set up, to ensure that the board
is set up.
Yeah, is
so
set up. Yes,
what he is leading that particular charge at the PMMC. The next place is the GTDC, the
Ghana Tourism
Development Company. Is headed by Dr. Kobi Mensah. Dr. Kobi Mensah,
a political marketing analyst.
Yes, a political marketing analyst, a lecturer with the University of Ghana, was very vocal during the 2024 elections. He spoke a lot of times against the then government led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and he's been appointed. Some people say he's been rewarded. But he's been appointed as chief executive of the GTDC. We go to the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company, Abdul Rahman Manike. Abdul Rahman had worked with the ECG for some time. He spent some time within the ECG, and now he's been promoted and been given the chief executive of the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company.
That particular company had an issue of a possible takeover by Ghana Gas by the previous administration.
Yes.
As to whether
there were conversations
about a possible takeover by Ghana Gas, and I don't know how far they reached with that conversation. Maybe this government may want to revisit it or want to leave it as an independent
At the time, it was Francis Essiem.
It was Francis Essiem. That brought a bit of friction between Francis, then Energy Minister Napo, and then the Ghana Gas, people.
Yes. We go to the next list. Dr. Frederick Apo, Ghana Railway Company. Dr. Frederick Apo has been sent to the railway company to also lead the charge there. The next place we go to is the GIHOP Distilleries. Geoff Distilleries being led by Jones Appler. Jones Appler, anybody who hears the name knows that this name rings a bell. Jones Appler used to be with the Small Arms Commission as the executive director of Small Arms. He's now been moved from arms to go to
drinks
to Geoff Distilleries, where they are going to produce drinks and water.
To drinks. That particular company was run by Maxwell Kofi Juma, former boss of KMA, former member of parliament for Asokwa. So Jones Appler will take over from him in that particular. So from arms to drinks. Let's see how that transition goes. But Fred, we'll go for a quick break. You're still watching the Situation Room coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Already, Fred has been taking us through the appointment the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, has made as far as the state agencies or state institutions are concerned. We started with the financial sector. We came to the energy and petroleum sector. When we come back from the break, we'll tell you the other appointment the President has made within the state agencies.
What seems to be an exciting situation may turn out to be detrimental. Will this lady come clean or remain silent forever? Well, Chris Carter and the sisters will delve into her story and advice.
In our first letter, dear sisters, while I was dating my boss, I also started a secret office romance with one of my colleagues. At first, it felt like an exciting and harmless fling, but over time, it became more complicated. How do I handle this mess and avoid the fallout?
Her situation, I don't see any complication in it if you ask me really. Because whoever finds out first, you tell them that there is nothing wrong with dating two people at the same time. You are not sleeping with the other one, you're just checking your options over there.
Don't date too many people in the same company. Otherwise, your reputation becomes like you are a company mattress.
And I do appreciate where you're coming from, you saying that, you actually feel bad for what you've done. But however it is that you want to look at it, there are people's emotions here.
Join them this Friday at 9 p.m. on Channel 1 TV for intriguing conversations. Sister Sister is proudly sponsored by Cindy Rice. Cindy Rice, sweet aroma, great taste, and Hero Pepper.
You're welcome back. You're still watching the Situation Room coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Fred and I have been taking you through the appointment the President has made in recent times to fill vacant positions within state agencies or state institutions. We started with the financial sector. We brought you the list of appointees in that particular sector. And then we went to the energy and the power sector as well as the petroleum sector. So Fred will move us to some other sectors or other appointments the President has made as far as forming the government to reset the Ghana agenda is concerned. Fred, which other appointments do we have?
So Sami, we go to the Lands and Forestry.
The Lands and Forestry
area. The Lands and Forestry, let's start with the Forestry Commission. There's been an appointment of Hugh Brown.
Okay.
Hugh Brown has been a professional forester. He's worked with the Forestry Commission for a long time.
A long time.
He's also not new to the Forestry Commission.
He did a job inside already.
He's been there, he stayed there, he's been promoted to be the Executive Director of the Forestry Commission. He's now going to take charge of the Forestry Commission. We go to the Office of the Administrator of Stool Lands, Dr. Gad Akwemvisi. Dr. Gad, as I usually call him, I've known him for a while. Dr. Gad has been at this particular office also for a while now. He has been running that institution as one of the directors of the institution for well over 5 or 6 years. Even during the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo, he was still there. I have engaged him a number of times on issues having to do with stool lands, and he's been promoted to be now the head of that particular institution. We are still waiting to see whether there will be a change in the management of the Lands Commission. As we speak now, the current management, nobody has been asked to resign, nobody has been dismissed. So the current management of the Lands Commission still remains. We do not know whether the president is going to keep it as it is, or the president is going to have a replacement for the leadership of the Lands Commission. So we are still waiting to hear from the president with the Lands Commission. We go to the next institution, which has to do with water and housing. Water and housing. Adam Mutawakilu, the Ghana
Galus.
Water
Galus.
Yes, aka Galus, former MP for Damon.
Yeah.
He used also to be very, very vocal within the energy space. Whilst in Parliament, he was a ranking member for the NDC.
Energy and Mines Committee.
Yes, the chairman of the Energy and Mines Committee. At the time they were in government, so he was the chairman of the Energy and Mines Committee for the NDC in Parliament at the time. He lost his seat to Samuel Abu. Now he's been made chief executive or MD of the Ghana Water Company. Then
someone told me a funny joke about this appointment. You know, Damango struggles with water.
Yes.
So a lot of people, conspiracy theory says that the president has appointed him so that he can
fix the issue
water challenges in Damango, and then he can go back to wrestle his seat.
he has a very difficult task
and it's not far from the truth, yo. But if you like it very, because Damango struggle with water. It's one area they really struggle with water a lot. I remember when we were there to do the constituency reports. Yes. You know, you could see people carrying the Kufuor gallons in search of water. So a lot of people believe that, you know, giving these appointments advantage, and bring water there and then come and wrestle.
That's a very keenly contested constituency too. Yeah. So as you said, I mean, it may be funny, but it is really a serious thing. If you have been given a position as MD of Ghana Water, and one of the biggest challenges within your constituency is water, then go and fix the issues. Yes. Then come back and contest.
Come and contest. Then if he fails, he will not have anything to hold on in an attempt to come back.
You carry your Kufuor gallon and walk away. So Galus Adam Mutawakilu has been sent to the Ghana Water Company. Then Vincent Kwangbenu, our own Vincent, former NSS boss, he's been sent to the Community Water Agency.
Okay.
He is now going to lead Community Water, another agency. So, you know, we have the Ghana Water Company and we have the Community
Sanitation Water Agency.
Yes, those people usually taking care of areas like rural areas,
rural communities very
without
deprived
water.
Communities.
But you know, as we speak now, most of these rural communities have grown.
Yeah.
So then he has a very big task on finding ways of providing water in such communities. We have John Bauer. John Bauer has been was also very active in the 2024 elections. He's been a member of the party for a long time. He's been sent to the State Housing Corporation as head of the State Housing Corporation. Let's go to the next one, which has to do with the CEOs of the youth and youth employment agencies. We start with Osman Ayariga. Osman Ayariga, brother of the majority leader.
Okay.
He's a younger brother of the majority leader. And now he also used to be the deputy youth organizer.
He's not resigned.
He hasn't resigned.
He's still,
deputy youth organizer of
It is only his
NDC.
boss who has resigned, Pablo
has
as national
resigned,
organizer.
yes.
Yeah.
But he is deputy youth organizer of the NDC. He's been sent to the National Youth Authority, taking over from Pius Hadije from at the Ghana National Youth Authority. We go to Malik Basintali. Former, he's still deputy communications officer of the NDC. He has been appointed to the YE, and we heard about Malik's entrance into that particular institution.
Grand entry.
That day, so many people, led by motorbikes, led by party faithfuls, took over the institution of NYE. Soon after his appointment, there were concerns as to who his deputy was going to be. You had Adongo and another lady who had received the same letter to become deputy CEOs. That issue has been addressed. Adongo has been sent to NYE, and the lady now has been made deputy CEO of YE. Margaret Ansar GA, she is contested to become the National Women Organizer of the NDC. She used to be the
former MC for Suhum.
MC for Suhum.
Yeah, for Suhum.
She also was very active in the NDC's quest to come to power in 2024. The Ghana Employment Agency, she's been sent there to take over that particular position. Erica J. Nip. Erica J. was one of the spokespersons for then running mate to John Dramani Mahama, Professor Jenana Pukwajiman. He has been promoted to NIP. A very close associate of Sami Jemfi has been sent to NIP. Then Felix Jemfi, an assistant to the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kwete. Felix Jemfi used to work with the National Service Authority. At the time, it was the Secretariat. He was the Greater Accra Director. When the NPP took office, he was moved as Greater Accra Director and sent to one of the districts in the northern region. He resigned later, and he's back to take over as the Executive Director for the National Service Authority. We go to Professor Ernest Kofi Davis. Professor Ernest Kofi Davis is getting one of the biggest jobs in the education sector, the Ghana Education Service. Director General of the Ghana Education Service. He has been appointed to lead the government's educational drive from the GS point. So he's been sent there. He's been an educationist for a larger part of his life. He's worked in various universities in Ghana and across the world. So he has been made the Director General of the GES. Then we go to the statutory and other funds. We have Paul Ejay. Paul Ejay he's been sent to GET Fund as Director for the GET Fund. Paul Ejay has a background in finance. He has worked with international organizations, and as some organizations also has some consultancy with the UN and on various projects. We have Michael Harry Yamson. Michael Harry Yamson is the son of Ishmael Yamson. Son of Ishmael Yamson. He is now been sent to the District Common Fund. A very big position.
He has to be dealing with DCs and MPs a lot.
And a very difficult job because you see, one of the challenges the government had in the previous administration was the non-payment of the common fund. And he needs to ensure that this is done. So Michael Harry Yamson has been sent there. He is also someone with a finance background. And he was the head of, or the leader of the Ishmael Yamson and Associates, that company owned by his father. We go to MIF, the Mineral Income Investment Fund. Justina Nelson has been a long-time banker. She used to be the group head for Zenith Bank in charge of energy and corporate banking. She has been sent to MIF. And we have Abbas Adams Nuruddin, Social Investment Fund. Abbas Adam Nuruddin is a lawyer. He spent a lot of his time in Ashanti region working, and he has been made the head of the Social Investment Fund. So, Sami, so far, these are the appointments the president has made to
quite a tall list.
And there are more.
There are more to come.
There are more. I'm sure by next week, we are told that the president would release a list of CEOs in the coming days. So I'm sure by next week we'll come back to update our viewers on the new people who have been sent to the various agencies which do not have heads as we speak.
My excitement about these appointments, Fred, is that there are two of them. The first one is the people are industry people.
Majority of them
are industry people. They've done this before. They're already in the system. They know the ins and outs of these various...
They belong to the institutions.
Yes, of these various institutions. So they are not new to it. They will not be foreigners to it. Unlike previously where you go and bring somebody who lives, outside the country to come and head these agencies and they struggle with these things. These appointments are exciting because these are people who are already in the system. They know the day-to-day running of the system and will not struggle to find their feet. Secondly, these appointments are made to reward loyalty and hard work among the NDC. And I say so because when you look at, these party officers who've been appointed to these positions, they have worked hard for the party. So it is time for reward. In this way, when party people come to such a CEO, they are not coming to a stranger. They are coming to someone they already know, someone they deal with. Unlike the previous administration where you bring some CEO living in the US or UK to come and head into who do not even know party people and bring about a lot of confusion. Remember in the last election or in the previous time, you had party people say that we go to this CEO and then they sack us.
So basically, they are empowering the base.
They are empowering the base, so that at least you can also sort out the full soldiers who may also approach you. So it's exciting in this twofold, if you ask me. And I think, the president has done well as far as these particular appointments are concerned. We can wish them all the best.
We hope that, as you said, once you have been put there, yes, you have party people coming over there.
Yeah.
But the most important thing you should do is that you are doing the job. You are doing the job for the country, for the people of Ghana. You don't overlook people because they don't belong. But you can't take out the political. Yes, but you don't. You also ensure that
who also come
but you also
knocking on your doors all the
but
time.
You also ensure that
because these things always happen.
Yes.
Fred, thank you. Fred Tete Jabano. My name is Sami Wiafi. We brought you another exciting edition of the Situation Room that came to you live from our studio here in Accra. So we'll come your way again next week. May the good Lord be with us all.